Okay, so usually the process for unfoiling, um, like we just went over, follows a pattern, right? Um, we had x times a number, right? So we had a number here, and we knew when we multiplied it, we got that back number, and we added it, we got this middle term, right? 4 plus 3 will get us 7. But if we have a number here in front of x squared, or whatever the case may be, it messes up that process. So there's several ways to do this. One you may have seen before in school is called the AC method. And one you're going to see now is the what I use. It uses half of the AC method, but it doesn't break it apart into 4 terms. Rather, we use some simplification. Okay, so when we have something, oh, there's a car outside, like this, okay? We know the only way to multiply to get 3 is 1 and 3, right? But it's a negative, so that means 1 had to be positive. Here, 1 had to be negative, right? So that means we would have subtract. So 3 minus 1 gets us 2, not 4. So this 4 is screwing up that process, okay? So there's 5 steps to this, what I call, or what was taught to me as the illegal maneuver. The first, well, I won't say the first. This is pre-stuff, pre-first. I'm going to check for a greatest common factor. Sometimes just taking that out solves all your problems. So factor-wise, 4, 4, cool. 3, not cool. So I can't divide this by 4 or 3. This has x's, this, so does this, but this does not. So can't take that out. So that means I'm going to go ahead and start the process. So now step 1. Step 1 is we're going to multiply the leading coefficient. And if you learn the AC method, this is the A part, to the back number, which is called C. So what that means is we're just moving this number. We're going to take this 4 and we're going to multiply it to that 3. So now we have x squared plus 4x minus 12. All right, step 2. Factor as usual. Okay, we're going to break this back up into 2 groups. X times x gets us x squared. What times what multiplies to get 12, but we'll add and or subtract to get 4. So again, you kind of want to take a look at the sign. 12 has a few set of factors. This sign is a negative, so that means I had to do plus, minus. And so here, whatever numbers I put in means I'm going to have to subtract, okay? So when I think about my factors of 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. The only way to get 4 out of this set of factors is 2 times 6. So 6 times 2 gets us 12. 6 minus 2 gets us 4. Okay? And we know we have to minus because of this sign, because one's a plus and one's a minus. Which one? Again, different signs. Your bigger number, 6 is bigger than 2. Your bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. A positive 6 minus 2 gets us positive 4. Okay, now we're not done because this wasn't the original problem. This was. So this was step 2. Okay. We factored as usual. Step 3, we bring back our leading coefficient. And we bring it back in as a fraction. Now, don't get scared. It's fine. Yes, it's a fraction, but don't worry about that. Okay. This is 2, 3. We bring it back, meaning, so our leading coefficient was 4. That's how we bring it back. Okay. Step 4, we're going to reduce if possible. If it's not possible, that's okay. So again, you know, you're in college, you got to know how to reduce fractions. So what can I divide 6 and 4 by? All right, I can divide both of them by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay. So that's not your answer. The last step is scooch. Okay. You're going to scooch this number, if you have a number in the bottom, in front of x. Scooch denominator, denominator, in front of x. So your final answer, you scooch this in front, will be 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 1. Ta-da! Seems like a long process. And you know, it is at first, but we've done this, right? We've done this. And once you do that, you just scooch. So that's not too bad. This method takes the guesswork out of knowing, like, okay, what do I do? Do I have 2 times 2, or is it 4 times 1? Is it 1 times 4? You know, so it takes that guesswork out of it. Now, of course, your homework likes to mix things up. So I saw something like this earlier. Okay, so again, first thing, no matter what, always check and see is there a greatest common factor? Especially if I have m to the 4th. That's gross. I don't want to deal with that. So number-wise, can we divide something evenly from 36, 12, and 8? Yep, we can, right? They are all even, so we know at least 2, but if we think of it a little bit higher, we can divide 8 by 4. We can divide 12 by 4, and we can divide 36 by 4. Okay? They all have m's on it, so that's good. So we can take some m's away too. So we're going to factor out the greatest common factor first, and we're just going to let it sit for a minute. After we do that, we're just going to like push it to the side and then worry about what we got left. So we decided we can divide everything by 4. And again, we take out the most letters we can take, which is always the lowest amount. Okay? So we're going to factor that out, meaning we're going to divide everything by this term. So when we do that, 36 divided by 4 is 9. I took 2 m's away from those. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Took 2 m's away from 3 of them. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. And I took all those m's away. Nothing left in common. Okay. So it's not fully factored yet because they want you to break this up. So this is where we're just going to ignore this, push it to the side, and focus on this. So we're going to unfoil this right here. Okay, so this has a 9 in front. So that's what we're going to move to the back. So our first step again, multiply leading coefficient to back number. So we did that. Okay. Then we're going to factor as usual, or unfoil, if that makes more sense. Okay, so m times m gets us m squared. And what times what multiplies to get 18, but will combine to get us 3. So again, you want to consider what this sign is. Since it's negative, that means we had to have different signs. One's a plus, one's a minus. So number-wise, between our set of factors, we're going to have to take the difference. We're going to have to subtract to get 3. So if I subtract 1 and 18, I definitely don't get 3. If I subtract 9 and 2, I don't get 3. And then the next set of factors for 18 is 3 and 6. Right? So 6 minus 3 is 3. Okay, so I have different signs. Which number gets this sign? The bigger one. So 6 is bigger than 3. So our results, we took a -6 and added a +3. We'd still have a -3 for our end result. So those will be our signs. And then we're going to bring back the leading coefficient, which was 9. Right, making it look like that. And then we reduce if possible. Okay, so here, 3 and 9, well, I can divide 3 by 3, and I can divide 9 by 3. So that leaves me with 1 over 3. Here, I can divide 6 by 3 and 9 by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. All right, we have yes, I think that's the way to spell it. If we have denominators bigger than 1, we're going to scooch them up. So this goes in front. This goes in front. Okay. So if you're not sure, then you can FOIL it out and get back to that. Now, because we factored out this in the beginning, now we just slap it in front. Okay, so we take it out, we don't worry about it, but we don't want to forget to include that in our final answer. So the final answer will look like this. And a common question is, does it matter which one comes first? Generally, no, it does not. Okay, so this would be that final one. Okay, so let's do one more. They like to make it a little difficult for some unknown reason. They like using weird letters. I just like using X. Why complicate things? Oops. All right. So again, pretty big numbers, right? It's supposed to be plus 245. They all have X's. So again, always look for the greatest common factor first. So 210 and 245 are pretty big. So can I just save everyone some time and divide everything by 45. And that way I can just factor it as normal and not worry about it. Well, I don't know. Let's find out. So can I take 210 and divide it by 45? No. Okay. So that means I'm going to have to think of factors that I can divide everything by. So the way to get 45, again, 9 times 5. If I look at these back numbers, I know since this is a 0 and this is a 5, I can divide these by 5. Probably not 9. So I'm going to use the GCF of big 5. And when I look at my x's, again, this has 2 x's to give. This has 3. This has 4. What they share in common are those 2 x's. So I can take out a 5x squared. So once we do that, then we see what we have left over. So 45 divided by 5 gives 9. I took 2 x's away from x to the 4th, leaving me with these x's left over. 210 divided by 5, don't know, 42, big numbers. I'm taking 2 x's away from x to the 3rd, leaving me with a single x. And 245 divided by 5 is 49. Ugh, that's gonna be big. And again, I took all those x's away. Okay. So we're gonna take this 9 and multiply it to 49. So this is gonna take a little bit. This is gonna be a big number. All right, I'm gonna ignore this for now. Just kind of put that over there and just worry about this. All right, so I'm gonna take that 9, multiply it there. This may be where the AC method might be easier, but I actually learned 441. Okay, so 441 is a big number, right? Let's see what happens, what factors are for 441 that will add or subtract to get 42. Okay. So looks like it's odd, right? Ends in 1. So we can't divide it by 2, but maybe we can divide it by 3. So we have 3 and 147. Well, if I add those, I definitely don't get 42. And what about, if I get divided by 3, can I divide it by 6? Nope. If I divide it by 3, can I divide it by 9? Or let's try 7. Okay, so we got 7, 63. But if I add those, I don't get 42. Getting closer. The 9 times 49 gets us closer to 42, but not quite there. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Okay, So went through and rather than you sitting watching me go through all the numbers, paused it, and then I finally found it. So 441, if we divide it by 21, we get 21. So 21 times 21 gets 41, 441. 21 plus 21 gets us 42. That's a good thing. Okay. So we're at step 3, a factor as usual. Okay. And then now we bring back in that leading coefficient. So we reduce if possible. So 21 and 9, we can't divide both by 9, but we can divide both by 3. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Same thing over there. And last step, take that and scooch it in front. So we have 3x plus 7, 3x plus 7. Bring back in that. Okay. So that did take a while. And sometimes that happens because they like to give big numbers for some reason. So again, just kind of work at it, see what falls out and where what you can find. Okay. All right. Good work.